these two harpies, you know, completely nihilistic characters.
From what they're saying, the people behind us must be dangerous. Let's hurry and follow them. Yeah, I do. It's stand here like sitting up. It's very interesting as we go through each of the story. As David is concentrating on Batman, Stephen, I realize like you concentrating on the female characters and their seductive nature. It's like, look at this prostitute. What is she supposed to do? Look at these harpies.
Yeah, well, it depends. Every man has their weakness, and with some it's money, with some it's power, and with some it's women.
No. It's the female profession for students. Definitely a female profession. Weakness of the flesh. The weakness of the flesh, yes.
There's some people who their weak point is money. That's the thing. I was watching this guy. He was talking about the spy business at the time the Soviet Union fell, and he was saying that everybody they have their weakness. You just got to find out what it is. You know, some it's money, some it's power. Other people it's the good-looking female spy to seduce them.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you on that one. If you find a person's weakness, they're easier to manipulate, right?
He was claiming that everybody has a weakness you can exploit.
Uh-oh, we can't say too much now.
What, that everybody has a weakness that can be exploited? This is a point of something, say a story like Sin City, I suppose. It's about people's weakness. Okay, so this is the no-say story. I didn't go on any further after this one. You suggested not to? The Bull of Minos, so it tells the story of how the Minotaur originated.
Yeah. Initially, I thought, David, that you suggested this one because of like the previous stories through time. But this one, even like the other ones, we can kind of date in our history. But this one was more Greek mythological. But then you said actually the artist who was putting this together was supposed to be there, or somebody who suggested it. It's up to you and what you write in your dreams now. Don't worry, I've got this. With all my years of experience leading troops in battle, I've got plenty of tricks up my sleeve.
Well, I just thought Stephen would like to read it. Thought it was worth bringing it to his attention.
Yeah, I like the illustration of the females there. Very nice.
Right.
Lucky to have such capable brothers.
Okay. So that's all we have to.
Well, it's a good story for somebody who doesn't know the story of the Minotaur, isn't it?
Right.
Move over.
But if you know the story, well, yeah, you've just seen a story, you know.
Mother, got an idea.
Okay. Did you read much of the Sergio?
Yeah, I went through that. I actually preferred the Batman story in that one.
Wonder how much you can squeeze out of him today.
Okay.
It was a comedy, of course. They were filming a Batman story in Bruce Wayne's mansion and cave. And they were all none the wiser that this was the real Batman. So which one's this? This is the one.
Well,
I saw him one about the samurai. Okay.
This was the one.
I killed Marty Feldman. Do we believe this story? He thinks that he's claiming he tried to interview Marty Feldman the day before he died.
No, he startled him. So he thinks the heart attack, the way he died, that he might have contributed to it.
Yeah,
I don't remember the past.
probably not, but you know how people are. They're gonna think something like that.
Yeah. Like, don't, I don't know, all of us, I think, like to insert ourselves into a bigger picture of something else happening.
Right.
Like, even if we talk about here in the United States, right? For us, it's like, where were you on September 11th?
Yeah.
Right? It's
Well,
like,
the Christian culture used to admonish the idea of fame, didn't it? But when we've now deserted Christianity and people are following the pagan values again, in a sense.
Potential.
Well,
what do you mean with global warming? People believing in global warming is we are back to pagans.
Oh, no, I'm just saying that, you know, in Christian society, you know, they sort of suppress the ego, you might say. But when Christianity has left us, as Nietzsche warned us, the ego has
Church is literally built so when the sun rises, like, or sun sets, like that the sun is behind the priest, so they can look more holy. Like, look into architecture. Like,
yeah,
even
well, that's the
churches,
whole
like,
thing. You're humble. The great thing is God.
no, like priests literally tried to make themselves look like, oh, angelic. Like, people go like, oh, whatever comes out of his mouth must be gold. I'm
We've
more
yeah,
cynical.
yeah, we've talked about this before, Stephen and I. Most of the artifacts of the church are not very Christian. That's true. And most
Yeah.
Christians are hypocrites. That's true as well. Well, in today's world.
Yeah, but there was that admonishment of the ego. But we're living in a culture now which has embraced the ego. Well, this term
can
they
see
have, narcissistic, was taken from egotism. Egotism was the term that people used for about 3 centuries. And prior to that, they used the term vanity. So we're now living in a very vain culture.
People kind of depict themselves, especially in social media, in a way that really doesn't depict their own life. Like, even like, yeah, right. Like, my friend is here and she's pointing, like, even people depict themselves with filters. They look better on social media. You meet them in person and you pass by them, you would never recognize them, right? Yeah. Or even like pointing to certain like riches around them, like their travel, their food they're eating, homes, their cars, even animals they have as pets. So it is, yeah, I can see it. We are living in a more materialistic world now.
I seen a friend on Facebook a short video of Taylor Swift because she hates Taylor Swift.
Like my own family.
You know,
But
and
it's
the
going
other-
out of
she's
your way
saying,
to hate on somebody.
what's the
Why do you
meaning
wanna-
of this? Is there some significance? I said it's the goddess Taylor Swift.
Belmont and the others lost a lot of food. Those two are bombing Belmont Bridge.
This friend, they send me memes all day, you know, it's just go ping, ping, ping all day. They send memes like, it could just be 1 or 2 memes a day.
Right.
Not the entire, you know, don't fill up the entire thing with endless memes all day. It's like, you know, David, you said you look at people and there's signs of a mental illness. And that to me is a sign you'd think, oh, okay, here's my meme for the day. Fair enough. There's one. But when you're sending about 20 a day,
Right.
it's an inability to, you pointed out, it's the idea that what's ever inside their head, they think deserves the grandest of exposure, you know, in the broad world. Okay, Beauty and the Choosy Beast. So this is very Mad Magazine style, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mad Magazine
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah.
He's one of the Mad Magazine artists, right? Writers and
Yeah. In fact, he gave a little bit of his background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Projection.
and he adds it in a lot of like his the Batman one, right? He
So-
goes into his cave by lifting the Mad Magazine advertisement.
Well, this is an interesting one. The Japanese one must have picked up on some Japanese legend. Again, he would have probably plagiarized something, where a guy makes a perfect sword to buy his son back, and the guy accidentally tests it on the son, who he's holding as a prisoner.
I feel a surge of power inside. I think I'm about to level up.
You were talking about swords before, and these samurai knives, right? They were one of the best qualities. They were very well balanced, and they could, like, even to this day, they have competitions where they're supposed to slice through bamboo and through twine that's been like rolled.
Well, they weren't the greatest swords around. They were built for a specific purpose. They had a very hard edge, and the ambition was that the edge would retain its sharpness after a lot of use.
Because of the folding. Many times they fold and forge it in fire.
Well,
They
the
keep on
purpose of
folding
the folding was to remove the impurities.
Impurities, yeah. But it also creates these layers where you can actually make the edge very sharp and
Right.
it will not break because of the folds. Whereas if you sharpen the edge, it will be like imperfect and you can actually make it more brittle, like it could chip off. But with the folding, it keeps keeps that sharp edge.
Well, actually, the edge of these katanas was very brittle. They weren't designed for the battlefield. The Japanese samurai used other weapons on the battlefield. They might use spears or a pole arm or a large two-handed sword that would have been designed differently. The katana seems to have been some sort of personal weapon that was used possibly in circumstances to protect yourself from assassination or bandits. So in theory, you could fight a large group of bandits because the sharp edge would cause a catastrophic wound every time. If you have a sword with a dull edge and you hit somebody, it might not even cut through the clothing.
Mhm.
But the sword wasn't designed to be used against metal. It was designed to be used against something that was soft. But if you had a rather blunt sword, and you hit somebody, you wouldn't tend to create such a catastrophic wound. So you got all these bandits who are trying to kill one samurai. He might be able, every time he hits one of the bandits, he causes such a severe wound that it disables them. But it had to be a very sharp edge to do that.
Well, if you bought the better quality ones, they were not as brittle. The lesser quality ones, right? The fast-made ones with more impurities, those were the brittle ones. But he's saying here he created this perfect the perfect sword, right? Something that kings would kill for. That's
well-
how famous this sword is supposed to be.
Well, the edge of the sword, I think, was actually something that was welded in. They opened up the metal on one edge and put in this piece of very high carbon steel, and then welded that together, and that became the edge of the sword. So the edge is extremely brittle and it would break, but the rest of the sword wasn't as brittle.
Am I dreaming?
Forging back then, it was literally just like heating it up in a fire, pulling it out, beating it, folding it, beating it, quenching it, heating it. There was no welding. I never heard of that.
They could put an edge. They could have the big piece of the sword, and then they'd get a strip of very high carbon steel, and they'd literally open up.
When was steel invented?
Better late than never.
Steel wasn't around back.
Steel was something they created by accident. They didn't know what steel was exactly. They knew the results, but the idea of steel being carbon and iron wasn't something that was worked out until the 18th century. They only knew that certain techniques would result. They knew adding carbonous material to the iron would result in steel. They used to make a thing called woo steel, where they would get the iron and they would mix it with like plant material or something like that for the carbon, and they'd cover it with clay, and then they'll run high heat around all these clay packets, and the steel and the carbon would mix together inside the packet, and they'd end up with, say, a pig iron that was about 2%, and then they could, as they worked it, it loses carbon. So this whole thing of making iron swords or steel swords is very complicated. You have to follow a process, because as you're working it, it's losing carbon. And if you worked it too much, it would completely lose all the carbon. For example, iron ore has a natural amount of carbon in it when you start off. So
Like all the organic matter has carbon in it.
This stuff is very complicated. It's not that simple.
There's a show called Forged in Fire. Look it up. You might actually enjoy it. Like listening to you, how you talk about it, I think you would definitely enjoy Forged in Fire. It's about new modern ways on making swords. And actually each contestant at the end has to test the sword to see like functionality. It doesn't have, like, it has to be functional, but it has to be really pleasing to the eye as well. And it has to be well balanced.
Here we are. He's made it to New York. He can't speak English, and he's trying to land a job as a comic artist.
There's enough for everyone.
So he's in the weird world of New York.
Mom, I want pickled vegetables.
I thought it was going to be covered in hippies. Oh, well, only at night time. So hippies are like vampires. They only rise when the sun goes down.
Then hurry up and make it.
Everybody has to have a 9 to 5 in New York if you want to survive. So most people work during the day. That's the reason he didn't see anybody. Or they're students in colleges. And at night,
Yeah, well, hippies are like vampires. You know, they sleep in their coffin by day and they only come out at night.
I can tell you we're not a hippie, Steven. You aged like the rest of us.
There's a lot of people around I know who are night owls. You know, they'll stay up. They'll try to stay up at night. Like it's like, you know, remember Matalia, David?
In
They're saying
New
you got
York
to.
City is open 24/7. Like you go over there, you have stores literally that are open 24/7 hour, like the full 24 hours. So it's called like city that never sleeps.
Yeah, well,
Younger,
Natalia's got a full-time job now where she has to get up in the morning, but she's still got that habit of staying up too late. And she wonders why she has a, you know, bad time at work. And I was trying to point out to her, if you don't get enough sleep,
yeah,
you're going to be mentally tired. You're going to make mistakes. So you know, if you want to keep your job, get
you
enough
gotta guard
sleep.
your sleep.
So many damn mushrooms.
Because they're very demanding these days, aren't they, Albina? You know, the
Yep.
workplace. They're not forgiving anymore like they used to be in the past. You make a mistake, you're
It's
ripping.
very visible because think back in the past, like let's go past hippie era, right? You had paper and pen, carbon paper. That was their copying, carbon paper. But now everything is on computers. Whatever you write, people can actually go back. I can whatever paper you write, I can look at it slice by slice how you developed your paper throughout the time. So it's less forgiving. And deadlines are set and people can meet deadlines, doesn't matter where you are, even in a hospital. And that's an unfortunate thing for us. It's even if you're in a hospital here in the United States, you feel that guilty feeling like if you didn't finish your job. You're like, oh my God, like my surgery is in half an hour, but I'll finish it before I go into surgery, right?
Yeah, yeah. This is sort of the new culture. Like, did you
Yes.
ever work in Yugoslavia
No, I
when you
was
were
a
young?
kid.
Oh, you're a kid.
Yeah. Oh, I did work in my grandfather's fruit farm. I picked strawberries. Everybody in the family worked there.
Oh, okay, let's do the Batman story.
Well, how much time do we have? Like we have 5 minutes left.
Oh, there we go. Okay, Batman's doing his usual stuff. But this is the of course the comedy is they end up he finds out they're doing a Batman movie in Wayne's mansion.
Got up too fast. Blacked out for a second.
But these villains are amazing. The
Yeah.
plumber gang.
Yeah.
But what about soon if someone
Yeah.
gets mouth-to-mouth resuscitation?
What does that have to do with anything?
Wouldn't understand. Just trust me on this.
It's a movie set. He has to make money somehow. So
And you know, bros stick together.
Fine, I'll do it.
and the plumber gang break in and find their way into the Batcave. But then they're fooled into thinking it's a movie set after that.
Yeah.
Here it is, men, the Batcave. We found Batman's home base. We can attack and kill him when he's unprepared. And even if he gets away, we can figure out who he is by finding out whose house is above her.
But I love the details that he goes with his plumber gang. Look at every single crack is showing, right? The plumber crack.
Yeah.
Like these are the subtle things. Like you have to read it a second time. Take a look at it a second time to pick up on stuff like that, right? Initially, you might think like, oh, it's a comedy, but then it hits you. Wait. They're plumbers. It's definitely a plumber crack.
Yeah. Mark Evanier never turns down an obvious joke.
Never eating mushrooms again.
I got to go prepare for my big outburst scene, tap into my inner crazy.
Let them know what unbearable pain feels like.
What if they find out?
Who cares?
Yeah, it's like when we read Watchmen. If you're going to put on a costume and go out and fight crime, there's got to be something psychologically wrong with you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, how dull are we that we always say somebody else is gonna do it?
Well, the superhero costume is a mask.
Yeah, it's supposed to hide you so the cops can find you, because even if you're fighting a crime, that's still illegal in certain ways. So I get the mask.
Yeah, and if the villains know who you are in your real identity, then they
Right.
can
Hey, it's fine.
get your friends and loved ones.
Focus on the journey. Hee hee.
This guy seems kind of odd.
That's the point of a secret identity. Yeah.
Yeah.
They beat up the actor playing Batman, and Bruce Wayne's able to beat them up.
No, we still need the extra.
Okay, we found the crooks outside tied up and the actor days. It was all a movie set.
Yeah.
Nice going, cesspool for brains. Batman's a lot smarter than we thought. And we thought we'd found Batman's hideout.
Yeah, you'll be immune to all concerts. I just saw Jean-Claude Van Damme the other.
And that smug smile on Bruce's face.
Yeah.
Just solved the problem once and for all. They actually still want to have us. No way, I'll distribute the antidote pills right now.
Okay.
Take these. I just saw
Well, he covered some history, so that's why I thought you'd be interested in reading some of the stories in this one.
sister. Where did you see?
Why does it
Oh,
feel
so I guess.
I did find a new appreciation for comics that go through timelines and bring you through different time periods. So, oh, I stopped at a library today. They do have a copy of the what was it? The one something about
Hidden-
trees. Yeah, the Hidden Life of Trees. They ordered one. They should come to my library soon. But we do have Hoopla on in my local library. But I went to the comic section and I found this book.
Ah, Craig Thompson Habibi. Yeah.
Yes. So
Cool. All right. I'll put that on the list.
I'm gonna go through that one. It looked nice and big, so I was like, that should slow me down.
Yeah. No, we'll do that.
Felt it right after drinking.
Metallia is like toads out of Wind of the Willows. You know, first it was comics, spends an enormous amount of money. Then it's something else.
Go on.
She spends a lot of money on clothes. And now she's trying to do the violin. So she's going to do a violin practice today. I warned her that while you're trying to do other things like get a permanent residency in Australia, you really don't have time for the violin, because it's a very difficult instrument. And it's
Yeah.
very demanding. But no,
Violin is like you have to start super early on. I remember when my son was interested in joining the band, and I think he was 6th grade, and it was too late for him to start with violin, so he started with clarinet.
You're right.
It's insane, like how young you gotta be for the violin. I guess unless you prodigy, right?
That's how I know. This thing's my fault too.
yeah, well, Metallia just follows her dreams. You know, she's just spends and
All right, let's
she's
go.
got to, you know, spend so much money on clothes and stuff like that these days. She used to come to our meetings. She was the one that
is
brought me into this meeting about 5 years ago or so.
She dropped you in and took off.
Yeah.
oh, just bear with me. We can't let Selma on any others meetings on.
All right,
Okay, so
here,
next-
pass our
next Friday.
time.
Yeah, I was just going to complain about last night's after existentialist meeting. We've got all the techno babblers in. David, you know what a techno babblist is?
Yeah.
You got these people that for some reason you're in a philosophy meeting and they've got to keep on going on about quantum physics or something like that. They're trying to prove to everybody how smart they are. And they come up with, just keep on going on. There's no such thing as the present time. Then going, there's no such thing as the future or the past. And I was actually literally putting in, that Hegel was pointing out there's the human world, the anthropos, then there is nature. And if you like, you can have supernature. And the anthropos, as anthropos, we create a world we can understand, which is not exactly nature. Like, if you think anthropos is real, well, you see an atlas and it's got a line dividing the two countries. So you literally go to the place where Canada meets America and you go, wow, look, Canada meets America, and it's something almost meaningless to nature. It's something that means something to man. And then they'll very carefully say, oh, this isn't real.
Just watching these bandits.
Well, it's real for anthropos, us as a species. We're programmed with all this stuff, you see. So we communicate in symbols which are meaningful to other anthropos, but don't really hold much meaning in nature. And they cannot make this distinction. This is the distinction that Hegel made. That we live in the world of man, where we're not really nature in a certain way. For us, nature is an alien realm. But you get all these people who cannot make that distinction. They think is what is up here is the same thing as nature.
They were just behind us.
What is up here is an image of the world. It's a representation, as Schopenhauer pointed out. Schopenhauer, of course, famously spoke of the sexual instinct as being misleading, that the sexual instinct misleads you into shacking up with a woman and looking after children. And
Well, not defend for themselves, but
it's terrible,
now.
It's something you learn to avoid, Schopenhauer said.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing that people cannot make this distinction between what's in their head and that there is a reality that is outside
Changing jobs.
human understanding.
Something that I
It best
How
you
many-
lock out.
How many of the participants that you were with, like, traveled the world and kind of were able to wrap their mind around the size of the world and the differences? Like, sometimes if you just sit and live in one place and you don't get to travel and expose yourself to different ideas, to understanding of nature's versus man-made or man, like, I can't even come up with a word to describe it. It's almost like fencing yourself in, but it's almost like cutting like you have a plate, like a steak in front of you. Are you gonna grab and swallow the whole steak? No, like you cut it in a bite-sized pieces as much as you can digest. And I think like that's like for them, they're cutting it into bite-sized pieces for them, so they can think of it like as that man-made line, right? That you said between Canada, US, United States. You're not going to see that line, but for us, it's easier to digest that idea of difference of the circle that we live in. Like if you reduce it somehow, right? Put boundaries around it. Of course, nature is still open, but like imagine the idea where every single person on the planet would accept that there's no borders. We will get rid of all the politics and everybody would have that freedom to travel back and forth and expose themselves to more localized experiences, cultures, and would there still be racism? Would they still be more
Oh yeah.
religion kind of like, no, like if you had that openness where people were not like, oh, you come to the United States, you're an immigrant. No, we don't want you over here. Like if the whole world was open, I think it will reduce those things down and it will
Oh,
open up.
you go on sort of Karl Popper on me, have you?
Hmm?
Karl Popper, The Open Society. You probably want to read it.
Okay, I'll put it on my reading list.
But
But
I
wouldn't
point
that
out
be wonderful?
historically,
But like even like in nature, like nature dictates our how we look, the color of our skin, and it's all the nature protecting us. But here we are fighting amongst each other because nature chose to make us the way we are. I
that's
wasn't
not
made
really,
under a knife. Or
it's not really it. You'd probably put it down more to language. For example, Anglo-Saxons speak a certain language and they've had an ancestry which goes back so far that have spoken that language, and it's a tradition which filters down.
but
And
is
this
it
is
hard for
the
us to learn a new language? No, it's not.
well, actually, yes.
Language is not natural. Language is something that's learned. Nature dictates or like our being, not our language. I
Well,
think.
I was making that point
Oh.
before. There is nature and there's anthropos.
Yeah. So language definitely falls under like how people identify sounds and recognition. Somebody had to come up with it. It didn't just exist forever. So somebody came up.
You can use the Roman Empire as an example. The Roman Empire supposedly created a single culture, but in the end, it broke apart into different cultures. This is a thing that you think you can eliminate the tribe, you're very much mistaken, because this was Marx's view. And that was the very thing that failed in World War One. He thought the workers of the world would unite against the capitalists of the various nations. And they didn't.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing that Benito Mussolini, my hero, Benito, noticed. He was a Marxist and he noticed that Marx got it wrong. And so he created fascism as an ideology, which was actually based on Marxism. People don't realize it. It opposed Marxism.
Everything overlaps. So if you look at it, you're gonna have some overlaps on the different political views and
And the walls are going up, the borderlines are going up. I mean, is China the open society? Is Thailand the open society? Is Japan? Where are these open societies that Karl Popper told us about? The ones that tried to be open are the ones that have been ruined.
well, I think like the most no, that's kind of more of natural or geographic melting pots. I would say Russia and United States, which has the most different people living under the same flag. But like open society, we cannot have that because think of it, like even though we sit around and we idealize about it, but at the same point in the morning we wake up, we go to the store and we purchase stuff that we have seen on social media, stuff that we think is going to make us happy. So as long as we do that and we support this big system of separating us from regular, like okay, so regular working people, and then you have like these super mega rich people
Yeah, I
in
bought
the
myself
world.
a toy recently.
Hmm?
Pair of binoculars. These are Fujinon, 10 by 50. I always wanted a pair, and I was walking past the store. 1,000 Australian dollars. These things were
How much is that? in US, David? Do you know?
Be about US would be about 700, something like that.
Okay, okay.
But the whole thing is the price has actually fallen a lot because I bought sort of binoculars like these 30 years ago, and they're probably about 4 weeks basic wage. Now they're only about 1 week's basic wage in Australia. But I bought a toy recently. I usually don't buy that many toys.
Well, like if we stop ourselves and say, like, wait a second, like you said you had an older pair. Did you need the new pair? But like, no, we always want something brand, like something newer, something better. Like, for example, for me today.
I've compared an older pair, and they weren't Fusionons. They were made, they were Zeiss Jena from the old Zeiss Jena factory, but they don't make optics in Europe much anymore. It's all in Japan. But these are actually brighter images than the European ones I had. So
Really?
this is actually better. It's a little bit superior. I'd always wanted to, a pair of these. I heard about them.
What do you
15
use them
years
for?
ago
Bird
when
watching
pulled up.
or?
I'd like to have a pair of these ones. These are marine binoculars. So, they've got individual focusing at the back. There's no central focusing wheel.
Mhm.
Because I like looking at the stars, I go like this.
So you can basically focus on the individual eyes
Yeah.
preference. Yeah.
Well, all binoculars, if they have a central focus, they have a diopter corrector.
Yeah. It's
On
right in
one.
between the, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I just something simple. You go out, maybe you lie on a mat on the ground and you look up at the stars because they've got some very rich star fields in the southern hemisphere. The very best star fields are visible from the southern hemisphere.
David and I have way too much light pollution around us. We can't enjoy that. Maybe we'll come visit you to enjoy the stars, but
So it's
not
like
over
the
here.
movie Zardoz, man has become a plague of men. If you've ever come across the movie Zardoz. Had Sean Connery playing the hero. It was the guy who made the film called Deliverance and Emerald Forest and Excalibur. David Boorman. That was David Boorman film.
Well,
Never seen
you-
the Emerald Forest?
I am so sorry. We're way past our time, and I do have a guest here, and
Okay.
I'm being a very bad host at this point.
We'll catch you later then.
There's
If I can smack this down so I can hang up. I have no idea what I did. Oh, there. Perfect.
right. Hope you got the
I'm-
files I sent on the chat. Hoping
Yeah, I
you
got them
did.
all. Thank you.
Friday,
I'm
yeah,
I'm
okay.
loaded, and plus I picked
Friday.
up like that fat boy from the library,
A
and I
BB,
have
yeah.
So
put
I
that-
I will be downloading the Hoopla, and there's other. The librarian gave me a list of apps that's locally available. So
Okay.
hopefully I should be set. I have 2 more weeks before the next travel, so.
Right.
We'll join as many as I can in the
Monday
meantime.
is Paper Girls Monday. Yeah.
Yes, I'll be
Yeah.
there
Okay.
for that one. All right, was wonderful talking to everyone. Good
Yeah.
conversation.
Catch you next time, Alberta.
All
Sure.
right,
Okay.
later. Bye.
Bye, Emily. See you Monday.
You need access for request access.
Really? No. Why?
You signed in as
Yeah, there. Okay, now try it now.
okay.
Frustrating. Frustrating. It's rare that happens, but I'm always
Okay,
annoyed when it
cool.
does happen. Rare, but very annoying, very annoying, very annoying.
The complete Carl Barks Disney. Okay.
Copy link.
7 Cities of Gold. That sort of rings a bell. Maybe that must be one I've seen before.
And there's the second one. Yeah.
You get my point about the techno babble, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, you're doing a meeting on philosophy and somebody's got to talk about what they think is quantum physics. And they all get into it. Like, they don't realize that it's mainly up here. There's a guy called Will, and he keeps on going, oh, the universe amazes me. It's so big, it's so huge. And I said to him, I'm trying to point out to him it's all in your head.
Right.
It's anthropos. The universe doesn't care what you think.
As Rick likes to always point out, philosophy is two things, either existentialism or escapism.
Oh, okay. Existentialism or escapism.
You've heard Rick say that enough times, I'm sure you remember.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he has said it a few times. Yeah. I'll have to look at your latest Facebook post. You put up another Kenneth Smith, I noticed.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, well, I've said before, the reason I put that up is to keep people away from me, and it seems to work.
Okay. Well, no. Well, we got on for the rest of the day. So,
Yeah, well, back to Friday. Usually, Iding and I agree on next book for this Saturday meeting, but we didn't this time. So I guess I'll choose something on my own.
Animation Nights New York presents program 114. Okay, you've got Christy Shin. The creator of Demon Bitch. Oh, okay. Program 114. I wonder what all that's about.
Well, it's a monthly animation festival. It's about 90 minutes, but
Oh, okay, I might give that one a miss.
every now and again there's an interesting one in there. Yeah, I don't know. There's on no, that's way too early for you. Well, I mean, I guess it would be 4 a.m. Thursday morning, so that's too early. It's a biography of Angela Davis.
Yeah, I don't want to do too many 4 a.m.
4
stints.
a.m. That'd be too.
Once a week is enough. I'm in the 5 a.m. for Kenneth Smith, and soon it's going to be 4 a.m.
Um,
So well, we got this. But yeah, this point you're making about somehow there's a lot of mental illness you feel. And actually, I wouldn't not call it mental illness in the normal sense. I think what I'm seeing today is a lot of immaturity, that people have got relatively easy lives in a certain sort of way, physically anyway. And it's not the sort of life which teaches you to depend on other people and how to interact with other people. We've become atomized. And people, and this is true of me as well, have retained a rather more childish character throughout their life. They haven't learned to be social that well. And so they're preoccupied with their own nut, which story of my life. And this is the only undiagnosed mental illness that they've stuck so long with a particular set of ideas in their head that they think that that is the truth. It's the objective truth, in a sense, when it isn't. And you've got to say to yourself, I might really love the ideas I have. That's fair enough, because that's the statement of the truth. If you say, I like the ideas in my head, now this is Albert Ellis, this is what he was trying to warn about. That's fine, that's cool. You've made a statement of the truth. But when you say that my ideas are it for the entire cosmos, that's not very accurate. But this is where a lot of people are today. Oh, well, I'll catch you at the Kenneth Smith, I suppose. See you, Dave.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Sure. Bye, Stephen.